In 2015, Cambridge Analytica was first accused of collecting data of over 87 million Facebook users without their consent through an external app. The story of the Facebook Cambridge Analytica data breach, however, broke out only in 2018 when a former employee of the political consulting firm came forward with the story. The breach data has been said to be sold by Cambridge Analytica to politicians. While data breaches have become shockingly more common now, the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal was an eye-opener of sorts. It brought to light the age-old fear that we are being watched continuously. In 1785, over 3 centuries ago, the English philosopher Jeremy Bentham proposed his ideal plan for a prison. He named it the Panopticon after the mythological Greek giant with 100 eyes called the Argus Panoptus. Bentham was opposed to the idea of violent treatment of the prisoners and asylum patients. Instead, he proposed a way of coercion without the use of force, one of constant observation of the prisoners who are kept in isolation. His ideas at the time were revolutionary, and although he was granted £23,000 to build the first ever Panopticon prison, he never lived to see its completion. The central idea of the Panopticon was to have a central guard tower surrounded by a ring-shaped building of 1-cell thick walls. Every cell would have one open side with the bars facing the central tower. This way, all the prison cells would be constantly visible to the guards, while the prisoners would have no idea if they are being watched or not. On the other hand, the guard towers had shutters and blinds so that no prisoner could see whether there was a guard in the tower or not. The authority was no longer a physical entity in the form of the guards, but rather an internalized altered state of mind where the prisoners would behave themselves just because of the thought that they are being watched. Michel Foucault expanded on the idea of the Panopticon into the broader societal setting. What he said was that the way a society treats and defines its criminals says a lot about the nature of those in power. The penal system, consisting of the policing, laws and surveillance, according to Foucault, existed only to defend the power of the ruling class. Punishment is no more physical, violent or public like earlier. Rather, it has become more mental and intrinsic. The current penal system punishes for the sake of reforming and preventing crime, but on the contrary, it is more likely for prisoners to go back to crime once they are released. While punishment has evolved to become more mental in nature, the constant state of surveillance is not limited to just the prisoners anymore. With the coming of age of internet and then social media, people carry a device of constant surveillance with them at all times voluntarily. The pictures, videos, information, addresses, anything and everything that we post or put up on the internet is data. Data that is gathered, harvested and then sold to anyone who can pay the price, just like in the case of Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. While we live under the illusion that we choose the content that we consume, the products we buy or the person we vote for, the truth is that if it's free, then you are the product.